Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy JLSpish back with another video. We're just gonna talk a little bit about yesterday's announcement, actually, with the NX release date. And I know initially I was saying, oh, it's bad news, and it's annoying and terrible. But I read a good article, which I'll obviously post in the description, that helped me to sway my thoughts, really, my thought pattern, and it is something that I think a lot of people can kind of relate to, is that the NX being delayed initially, yeah, it did hurt, it did feel bad, and like, oh no, Nintendo, why did you delay it? But if you think about it, it is a good idea, because I mean, first of all, if you look at E3 as it is now, everyone seems to be not so much moving away, but not having that as the sole focus of the ideas being presented to the world. I mean, you had Sony, like we already mentioned, had a pre-conference and they showed off the PS4 then. So they didn't use E3 as that main technique, really, to unveil the PS4 and to say, okay, everybody, look. Not to say that E3 is completely small, it's dwindling, it's insignificant now, but there are more and more innovative ways now to be able to demonstrate, to be able to express, to be able to show whatever you're working on. And I think that's what Nintendo are probably going to do, because they said that they are going to have some news this year about the NX. It's not that it's completely all going to be in 2017. It's just going to have the launch in 2017. But remember, there is the rest of the year to look forward to in terms of them showing us something. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, she's probably not wrong, which is why I said that if the NX has multiple control schemes, like Emily Rogers was mentioning about about 10K's rumors about the control pad not being completely correct, but the NX having a port of a Wii U game in the form of Zelda kind of goes against that idea that the NX doesn't have some form of control pad similar to the Wii U in a way, because it's how are you going to play an NX game that's also on the Wii U if you don't have the same controller type format, you know what I mean? So we'll just have to see what happens there. But getting back to why the NX being delayed is not a bad thing, I think it is initially painful because the hype was really starting to build up, and we're getting closer to E3 now. It's like, oh, well, can't wait to see it, can't wait to see it, and then Nintendo's like, yeah, we're not going to show it. Sorry, but if you think about it, if Nintendo stretches it out, lets everyone kind of just stew, just marinate in those juices, and you won't have any competition from Xbox or from PlayStation in terms of console revealing, because if it's to be believed with this PS4K and possibly a new version of the Xbox as well, they'll probably show that stuff of this E3. Then Nintendo gets next E3 all to themselves already, and they'll have more time to work on more games to demonstrate and to show off. And third parties too, so you have more time to get them on side. You have more time to work on your own stuff to be able to show, to be able to exhibit. So it won't be like, oh, this is what we're planning, and this is the kind of stuff that we have, but we can't really show any of it because it's not really made. Whereas having the rest of this year to work on everything gives you time to see things that you might think work but don't work, and vice versa. To be able to, like I said, contact more third parties, to be able to get them on side, to be able to get their games running on the NX smoothly so that you can show those off. Maybe a few surprises here and there, maybe a few games that internally Nintendo are working on and they want, to be able to have more time to make sure it's really polished. You know how those guys are perfectionists anyway, so I don't think that it's a bad thing. I mean, it's the initial feeling that was the most painful thing, that we're all getting hyped and then it kind of just pulled the rug from under our feet. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's over. Like, oh, there's nothing to look. I even said it, but I'm not completely right in thinking that, oh, just having Zelda at E3 is a loss. Yeah, not really. Like, based already on what the very little we've seen from the NX and Wii U, I can say that now, the NX and Wii U version of Zelda, yeah, the game looks sick. So saying, "Oh, just having an E3 where Nintendo just focus on the on the Zelda game is rubbish. It's not rubbish. Game is gonna be spicy. So, like I think as well, if they do show off some certain things about the Zelda game, we can already be in anticipation for what it will be like on the NX. So it's really not that much of a loss, really. And also, I just actually looked it over, rather as opposed to just jumping to conclusion, which I did yesterday. Well, Nintendo said that Zelda is the only game that they are gonna show from themselves that they're making, not necessarily that there won't be any other games at all at E3. So I shouldn't have probably made that assumption because that makes me look like an idiot. But you know, I'm a guy who doesn't mind being corrected. I can correct myself if I find fault, and I found fault in that. So maybe there will be more stuff like well, Wii U is kind of coming to a close now, but that doesn't mean that Nintendo can't just have a few more stuff just to show off, just to let everybody know about before the very, very end, and then you have your transition next year, because remember, the NX doesn't get announced in March 2017. It comes out in March 2017. So that means that Nintendo are going to still have a busy year this year showing it off. They can't just be like, oh, well, it's coming out in March, probably not going to show anything, because March is before E3, so how are we going to show the NX off if we don't have E3? That right there shows that Nintendo aren't depending on E3 as their launch pad for showing off the console to the world. I mean, they were kind of one of the first companies to kind of walk away from E3's system anyway, of having your big conferences with all the audience talking and blah, 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 blah. They've been doing the Nintendo Directs for a few years now, and it's worked. Like, it's a lot more simplistic in a way. Like, you don't have to stay up at crazy times of the morning. Well, I guess sometimes you do, depending on depending on where you live, I guess. But, they just released that video. You can watch it live if you want to, or you can just wait an hour or so and then just watch it uploaded on YouTube and just watch it. Whereas with the Sony one, I wanted to watch it last year. It came on so late, I was like, yeah, not really. Went to bed, had a little sleepy, come back in the morning, Shenmue 3's been announced. I was like, what? So, I mean, which is crazy. But, I mean, it just shows that, Nintendo doesn't need to follow that system in order to still have people be excited about their games. I mean, they showed off in Zelda, was it last year or the year? It was the year before. They only even showing off, that gameplay and everything. And everyone was like, oh my, this is the most, spice levels, the spice. Then you didn't need a live crowd for that, did you? But like I mentioned before in one of my E3 videos, it is sad not to be able to have that shared excitement feeling where you hear the crowd pop and you're like, yeah, you're popping at home as well, which is kind of cool. But I don't necessarily think, Nintendo will falter, will fail because I don't get that pop. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So I think Nintendo are still in a good place, really. We just have to wait and see what happens with the NX. I mean, no matter what it is, like the article I'll post in the description says, Nintendo are like the masters of reinventing themselves. So if anyone can do it, if anyone can show off, okay, look, this is what we were working on, and this is the brand new version of ourselves. And it's only when Nintendo are in situations where it looks style, where they just pull out the most amazing, the most groundbreaking things. And like we've all been hearing, and if it's true, with this console portable hybrid that's capable of 4K gaming and as powerful as a PS4, Nintendo's just gonna slaughter a bag of man. So we just have to wait and see. Now my outlook is a lot higher. I'm still hyped. I'm still looking forward to this NX, to the Zelda game, to a few Wii U games I haven't even picked up yet. And whatever they show at E3, I'll be happy, to be honest, because if it's Nintendo games, I'm happy. Zelda's obviously going to be cool. It doesn't even matter that the game comes out in March, because I probably won't have an NX by that time anyway. And like I mentioned, if it does, it is coming on the NX. When I do get an NX, I'll just buy the game again. I don't even care, because I know the game's going to be that great. So, yeah, I just wanted to have a revision of my previous opinion from yesterday. And, this is your boy JR Special. You know what to do in this video, right? Drop me that comment, man. Let me know if your ideas. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, man. I want to know what you think. Hit me up with that subscription, man. Needs those subscriptions, players. Have to play around, man. You know, share, like this video, all of that nice stuff, and you have a good day, man. All right.